I want to have the shitty sounds exactly as shitty as they were.
Go ahead.
What was it like? It was difficult.
Yeah.
It was a difficult decision, and it didn't come like that. It took quite a lot of talking and thinking and experimenting. I don't know how the best way to describe it, but I would say the germ of the idea to return to the stage happened after the Taylor Hawkins tribute shows in 2022. After those shows, we were sort of high, having played our songs again for the first time since 2015. We were left with a really good feeling, like we had sort of, in one way, regained ownership of our songs. And we talked about going on tour, but it didn't work out. The timing wasn't right. Alex was very busy doing other things. He was all for it, and then realized that he wasn't being honest with himself. He wasn't ready. And there are a lot of reasons for that, which I won't go into, but, there were health considerations, other projects, things of that nature. Touring can be very mundane when you're not playing. And that wasn't his idea of how to spend time. So we revisited that only after, I would say a couple of years later, really was in late 2024.
Yeah.
We started to just jam. Because we're friends, we always are seeing each other anyway. If we don't play together, we're still seeing each other. We're either drinking wine together or going out somewhere together. So late 2024, we started jamming, and one day we said, hey, let's just play a Rush song, see if you can remember it. And of course we couldn't.
Yeah, we were laughing because we were so terrible.
I was like, wow, that really sucks. And then we sort of got challenged. And so every time we got jamming, we tried to remember Rush songs, without listening to the record. Just what can you remember about this song? What can you remember about that song? And I guess it was only after we had returned we both went to this health spa together in Europe because Al was having some issues, and I went for moral support. And when we finished that, he was feeling so great. And we had talked about maybe we could tour, but he wasn't convinced.
Quite there, yeah.
And then after we went to that health spa, I think he looked at me and said, I think I feel strong. Maybe we should try it again. And I was a little afraid that he would just bail on me, but he didn't. And it was we had to re-educate ourselves about what it's like to tour in 2026, because last tour was 2015. The world has changed a lot. But we figured it out, and then we had to figure out the most important thing, who's going to play drums. And because my bass tech worked also for Jeff Beck, I was very aware of Anika Nilles, and there's something that really intrigued me about her. I loved the fact that she was from a different world of rock, and she wasn't in the same genre that we worked in. And she had a real depth of musical influences. And she attacked the drums in a, I think, a really intelligent way. And so I asked my bass tech to introduce us to her. And we had a Zoom call, which I guess must have been when? In like February of 2025. And we said, would you be willing? We liked her a lot, just talking to her. She was really cool. And of course, we're so cool. I think she liked us too.
You think you have to ask her.
Don't ask her. We said, do you want to come over and jam with us? And she said, yeah, I'd love to. So we said, great. And then he was like, well, I guess it's happening, right? So she came over and we spent 5 days together. And by the 5th day, we thought she would be really fun to try to go on this journey with us. And thankfully, she wanted to do it. And that's how it came together. So that's a long story.
I think when we thought about who we would ask, we started with the first one. That was Anika. As Geddy said, we loved her story, her ability. She's an amazing drummer, and she's a very, very wonderful person. So she really fit in with us right away, and that was 50%. Is can we live together for 2 years in this very difficult environment on the road? And it was obvious that we can, personally. When we started playing together, she had such skill that was developing, when she got to understand more and more about, Neil's approach to drumming and what the feel was for the songs that we were considering. I don't know, there was sort of no reason to look at anyone else. She fit all the check boxes, and then some. So, and we don't want to look at a famous drummer from another band to come in and replace what Neil was, and that was not our goal. And we've always been a little bit contrary, a little different from what you would expect, unpredictable in some ways.
The most important thing is she laughed at our jokes.
Yeah.
The second most important thing was she wasn't afraid to sit in that seat. This is underestimated, that you can just pull some drummer out and put him in Neil Peart's position and that they can thrive. It's a very difficult job. And she seemed unafraid. She understood it was going to be hard and it was going to be a challenge, but she was prepared to work, really do the work, really listen, and she seemed to really dig playing with us too, which was nice because as a bass player, I have to vibe with the drummer. And there was a lot of good eye contact and a lot of smiling going on, especially when we both hit the note at the same time. So there's a fearlessness about her. She accepted the challenge and she works hard at it, and she's getting, every time we play together, she's more relaxed, and now she's able to get past the replacement of Neil and be herself. With every time we play a song, there's more of herself in that song.
I think the starting point needs to be pretty exact, or at least use that as a template for what is expected, so that you can get a sense of the feel more than anything. She's a technical player. She can play the rolls and all those signature things. It's all the stuff in between that's really, really important. Now, when she has 100% of the song, then she can massage it a little to her style. And we have no problem. We promote it, really.
Yeah. No, he's right on. What he said is right on. But I think what will happen is once we're in rehearsal and the keyboard player is worked out and all that, and he's playing with us, and we know the songs, and she doesn't have to think about the arrangement. You see, you have to get past the arrangement to have real freedom. So once she gets past the arrangement, we'll look for moments and say to her, okay, we're going to extend this. Have fun. And I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great moment.
I think we had the standard songs that we have to play that are the popular ones for all our fans. But then we would go back and forth on what other songs we would want. And, we would change some, think about it and change it and look for other ones. I mean...
And now we're up to 39.
Yeah. So
I just gave the bad news to Anika.
she was very sad.
She's like, yikes, stop. Stop adding songs. Yes. Yeah, there are moments that I feel very, like we did The Garden a while back, and I had a hard time singing it at first, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few. Bring a tear.
All of them?
Yeah, we haven't played them really in 10 years, other than a few songs for those tribute shows. So when we started relearning these songs, we forgot how difficult Rush songs are. I'm serious.
Yeah, I turn to him and go, who wrote this song?
When you play them every night for 40 years, you don't think about it. You can read a newspaper and your hands are going to still go to the right place. Yeah. But when you haven't played and you come back to them and you listen to them, and then kind of the nuance, just the feel of what you did, boy, you rely on muscle memory so much to tell your hands where to go, and that takes a while.
Yeah. And without giving out names, because we want to keep some surprises for fans, there are a few songs we haven't played in years on stage that we're going to bring out, which I think will make some fans very happy. But those are fucking hard to remember how to play it, because you're going back in time to a song you haven't played on stage. Like to play Tom Sawyer, okay, that's complicated. YYZ is complicated. But those songs never go away, really. Yeah. I mean, you just have to find the right groove that it's lying in and then spark it. Okay, there it is, blah, blah, blah. But there are more than a few songs that we have not played on stage since...
Decades.
Yeah, in a couple of decades. So we basically have to go out like a cover band and listen to the song and what the fuck was I playing there? And listen and try to isolate your part. And then I have to sing it at the same time. I haven't done that in a long time for some of those songs. So it's a challenge. It's not a walk in the park to put a 39 song set list together. Now, we won't play 39 songs every night. We only will play 2 hours, 20 minutes, something like that. But we'll be able to change it every night. Add new songs, change this song out. So,
but it takes a year of rehearsal to prepare. Yeah. It's not like we're just going on the road. We're practicing, rehearsing, and studying for really a year and a half.
It's all we think about. It's all we talk about. It's all we're doing now. It's a real...
Every day.
Ask my wife. I'm not very present at home right now. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some songs that are just, great to play again. And what I think what we really start to smile is when we play a song from the first album. I mean, it's just so long ago. But when I play one of those songs, I think about recording it.
Yeah.
I think about first time in a recording studio, proper recording studio. And there are also some songs from our more complicated records that when you get it right, boy, it feels great.
Yeah.
It feels great. Especially when Anika gets it right with us and the three of us are playing a song I didn't expect would work out so well. And she really shines in some of those moments. I mean, especially when we do something from the more modern period, those are songs that come to her very quickly. Some of the older songs from the late 70s, I don't think she was born yet. But,
no, she wasn't.
Those are a bit of a challenge. She has to get into the headspace of the period, but she's there. I mean, she'll get them. She's got the chops and she's got the desire. So it's really fun. It's really a fun
Yeah.
project.
Yeah. It has to be fun. That's our motto. It has to be fun. No new music on the tour. This is a trip down memory lane. It's all about our history and a tribute to Neil every night. Past that, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we're still figuring that out, but I expect I will have the same kind of rig I had last time, and which is very small, and I use a lot of my devices that I've been working with for years, and I probably won't use any amps. I might have one speaker there if they force me to mic it, but I'll bring a lot of different basses out, a lot of vintage basses like I did on the last tour. Last tour I played 27 different vintage basses. This year probably not 27, but I'll bring a lot of unusual instruments out because that'll be really fun to do. But I'm playing this 62 jazz bass, which I love so much. And it sounds so good that it's hard not to play it on every song. That's the problem. How about you, Al?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, the people at IK Multimedia, do you know them? They make Tonex. So I shipped all my amps from the warehouse to Italy. They kept them for a year and a half. They analyzed them, they did the whole thing, and they created like an Alex Lifeson package of my old Marshalls and Lurk stamps and Hughes and Kettner and all of my amps. They're right there. So that's what I'm planning on using. I spent a lot of time going into each song that we play, and I'm trying to match those original guitar sounds because I think it's so cool to have a different sound every night for a different song. That is the sound that it was originally. And it's a lot of programming and a lot of work, but it's really a lot of fun to do.
Even the shitty sounds, right?
Even the shitty one, because, and then...
I want to have the shitty sounds exactly as shitty as they were.
And then, and I'm going to be using Fractal for my effects. And I was using the FM9 because it's a nice compact unit, but I've switched to the Axe 3, the big one. Yeah, that's rack mounted. So it's doubled the power, and that's going to be what I'm going to be using on stage. I love that Fractal stuff. It's so good. The quality of all the effects is top notch.
That FM9.
Yeah, FM9.
Fuck me 9 times? Is that the...
Well, I don't know what they were
Is that
thinking.
what they call
might
it?
be something else.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sorry, Josh. I like it because it's nice and clean. Like I do gigs at home. I have a shoulder bag and I have the Fractal and my Tonex. That's it. No amps and all that stuff. And it sounds great. This new generation of programming and modeling is really spectacular.
Yeah, and it's the same with me. Like I've done a number of gigs, like when I played with Yes at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I brought my 62 jazz bass and my rack, and that's it. And it just delivers. And I did a gig with The Who in 2014 for their 50th anniversary, and same deal. It's just hard to beat. We did a bit of recording for this documentary that's going to come out next year sometime, and that's all I brought with me to the session. And the producer was freaking out. The bass sounded so good. Where's the amps? No amps. It's just my little thing.
Modern times.
Yeah. Yeah, well, of course, I mentioned the 62 Jazz and now my 71 Jazz, which used to be my number one, and now the 62 is my number one. I have to have that on there. I have to have a couple of Rickenbackers on there. I've been playing this 73 Rickenbacker lately that just feels terrific. What else? There's the T-Birds. I've been playing T-Birds lately, which is really fun. And I'm not sure which song I'm going to play them in yet, but I have to have a T-Bird. And I have to have a Hofner because I love that little Hofner that I played on the last tour, the end of the night. But I think I want to try one of the other Hofners that you would never expect me to play. But, you know, I'm a crazy person. I have so many basses that I've collected, and it's just going to be, when we finish all this preliminary rehearsing and we can finally just do the show, I'm going to try bringing 3 or 4 instruments every day to the rehearsal hall and try them and see if I can make them work. And technically, you have to use something like the fractal just to balance the levels, because the outputs are so different on some of these old basses. I mean, you're talking about most of these basses are pre-65, right? So there's a great variety. So you have to level out that. But yeah, and of course, the double necks. I have to bring the double neck.
Yeah. Ouch.
And a P bass. I have to use at least one P bass. Yeah, I mean, in particular, I'm in love with this 1959 P bass that I have. And I have to use that too. Yeah, exactly. I modeled, that's a bass I found in a pawn shop in Kalamazoo, Michigan, way back when. And I played it for the first time on Moving Pictures on a couple of songs, I think. Tom Sawyer. Everyone thinks that's my Rickenbacker. It's not my Rickenbacker, it's my jazz bass. But it never made it into be my number one for a few years. It took a few years after I was using Steinbergers and then wall basses. And when we recorded Counterparts with Caveman, with Kevin Shirley, he hated my wall basses, which I think he was wrong about, but he said, "Good, you have to use a Fender," and he wanted me to use my old Ampegs and a Fender, and he said, "We're going back to analog, man." And so I played the jazz bass through that Ampeg, and it sounded great. So then I was hooked. From then on, I played that bass. So yeah, my signature basses are modeled after that. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a new one coming out next, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully before the tour, that I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
So you'll see.
Yeah, I'm working with Gibson on a 335 based on my 69 335 with the trapeze tailpiece, doing like a limited edition. Well, let's start with a limited edition on that. There's also something else that we're working on. I think, I can't remember now. I think it might have been, a Dove, like a signature Dove, based on the Dove that I had. And then another, an acoustic, like the J45. They're talking about doing 2 acoustic guitars, which is kind of different for me. But I'm looking forward to that. And of course, the 335 is going to be a real treat. That'll be really pretty. It's really fun to play. I gave one to
Some guy.
Kirk Hammett. They were in Toronto for their show, and we went out to dinner a couple nights. And the second night we went out for dinner. They came back to my place. I have a little studio in my apartment. He and Rob came back, and we jammed for a couple of hours. So much fun. And he was looking at that guitar that I had on the wall, and he really admired it. So the next day, I had one that was in a box in storage, and I sent it over to the hotel, and I saw a picture the other day of him using it on stage. Yeah, he really loved it.
Oh, nice.
It's a great sounding guitar. So light, really, easy to play. Nice feel on the neck.
Right now I have a bass being made for me by Rickenbacker, which I'm excited to get. And I hope to have that ready in time for the tour. But my main bass is Fender, and my new signature is going to be hopefully modeled after my 62. And I'm taking a lot of time with it to make sure they get all the nuances correct. But it sounds just, as I said earlier, I've just never played a jazz that sounds that good. And I have a lot of Fenders. I have a lot of 62s I've been buying to try to find a suitable backup for it. And it's just really hard. There's something magic about that bass. It's an early 62, late 61. And I bought some other late 61, early 62s that don't quite sound the same. I have this fantastic Fiesta Red 63 jazz that sounds close. So that might end up being my #1 backup to that. And of course the 71 still sounds, sorry, it's a 72, it's not a 71. You mentioned 71 earlier, but it's actually a 72. That's still a terrific sounding bass, but a very different period to the 60s. 60s have a scooped out mid-range, and the bass from the 70s has a really exaggerated, controllable mid-range, and that's sort of got me going with Fenders, that sound. So I have to still use it, and it's so great to play. Don't hurt yourself. I don't know.
Start at the beginning, I guess.
I think if you're interested and crazy enough to be interested in Rush, I would follow the journey.
Yeah.
And I'd follow it slowly and see if you can see what helped us go from the first album to arrive at Clockwork Angels. It was a wonderfully circuitous route that they were all experiments.
Yeah.
Every album we did was an experiment of one kind or another. And we didn't really know until it was finished what we would end up with. So to be a Rush fan, I think you have to have patience and try to have a peek into each period.